Well, hello subscribers and fans of Marina Queen. Last week I introduced you to this super awesome, epic hero's adventure that me and two other crew are going to embark on August 19th. August 19th. This is also a very special and important episode because we're going to go over the trip plan. Stick around. My name is Rick. Join me as I refit sailing vessel Frog's Leap with an eye towards taking her to warmer places. I get to spend only a few days each month on the boat. That's why I call the channel Marina Queen. It's safer. Safer? I think that's a word. What you want to make sure that you do, just from a risk analysis perspective, is that you're entering or exiting restricted waters in daylight hours. I'm resigned to planning on leaving and entering restricted waters during daylight hours. It's a 2-week passage if everything goes according to plan. We're going to leave Brickyard Cove Marina in Point Richmond, California on the 19th of August at 8 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to sail around in the North Bay for a couple of hours. Do some figure eights, give everybody a chance to work the sheets and stand the helm. Then I want to do a quick anchoring. We'll debrief it, and then we'll go through Raccoon Strait, and then we'll anchor for the night in Horseshoe Cove. You're right inside the bay, almost looking straight at the north column of the Golden Gate Bridge. I mean, you are right there. So it's pretty cool. It's also very small. Maybe they could anchor 2 or 3 boats in there. Well, then we'll just have to be up near Sausalito, Richardson Bay, and leave from there. That means you have to leave earlier to catch the slack, but it's doable. It's the morning of day 2. We are waking up in Horseshoe Cove at the foot of the north end of the Golden Gate Bridge. The San Francisco Bay is a place of pretty substantial currents, over 5 knots. That's substantial current in any context. Ridiculous currents. On August 20th, the day that we would be leaving Horseshoe Cove, slack water is at 0650, and that's slack to the flood. The big reason in this case is the prevailing wind comes in from the northwest. Under the gate, it comes in almost from due west because it gets channeled through that gap. And when the current is flooding, that means the water and the air are moving in the same direction. Now granted, it's moving against you, but it's moving in the same direction. The problem is when you have an ebb current, so the water's moving against the air, and what you get is a shorter period wave and you get cresting waves. Outside of the Golden Gate, there is an area on either side of the shipping channel, and it kind of comes out like a horseshoe connecting the 2 peninsulas. The north side of that is called, well, you'll hear it often referred to as the Potato Patch. So if you go north, you go through Potato Patch. If you go south, you'll experience a similar thing. We're going to follow the main ship channel out of the Golden Gate Bridge until we get into the precautionary area, at which time we will turn south, and we won't stay in the shipping lanes. We just need to get past the San Francisco bar. So we're talking about 31 miles. So this is about an 8-hour trip. 31 miles at 4 knots is going to be about an 8-hour trip. Getting underway that early for slack. We're going to be getting into Half Moon Bay during daylight. Half Moon Bay has a waiting list, people who want slips there, that's over 2 to 3 years. Now people still will take their boats and they'll go sailing and they'll go on trips or whatever. So there are slips available, and the marina will rent those out when those people are gone. So when we get there, we'll give them a call, and if they have a slip available for us, we'll take it. That'll give us a chance to get off the boat and relax a little bit. But if not, we have an anchorage, and that's one of the other things. There's a lot more ports along the way than we're going to actually hit, especially when you get further south. I only want to plan to hit ones where if they don't have a slip for us, then there's an anchorage. So the next leg, we're waking up in Half Moon Bay really pretty early, like 4:30, because we need to be underway by 5, making way towards Santa Cruz. Yeah, it's a 55-mile leg. We have to get up early. So that's why we're getting up at 5. That's 2 hours before sunrise. Sunrise is going to be around 7. So 5 p.m. we'll have gone 48 nautical miles. So 1 more hour puts us at 52. Another hour puts us at 56 at 7 o'clock, which will be right about sunset. It's tight. If we need to motor in order to make that time, then we're going to burn some diesel to make sure we make that time. See what the wind offers us. The Santa Cruz anchorage is a loud one. There is a platform there by the end of the pier that seals congregate on, and they'll bark all night. I've heard people don't get any sleep there. So we're going to do it probably once in my life. Yeah, they'll bark all night. I draw 3 feet 8 inches. So when I anchor, I'm going to try to get in as close as we can, still such that a full swing circle can be accommodated, right? The next morning is going to be comfortable. We'll wake up when we wake up, we'll eat something, we'll chat. At 8, we'll sail to Monterey, which is 22 miles. For this trip, this stop in Monterey is important because it'll be the last stop before Santa Barbara. So it'll be the last stop for fuel, be the last stop for food. And Monterey is another one of those where we're going to call them and see if they have a slip. I think the situation there is going to be a lot like Half Moon Bay. If they have a slip for us, they'll sell it to us, and that'll give us a chance to get off the boat. So this next leg from Monterey to San Simeon is going to be our first overnight leg. And we're going to leave at noon from Monterey. So by midnight, we'll have half of it. By noon the next day, we'll have the other half of it. So we'll be anchoring in San Simeon in daylight hours again. This one is 88 miles, so it's the first overnight leg, and we're going to get underway at noon. By midnight, we'll have about half of it knocked out. And by noon the next day, we'll be anchored in San Simeon. And there are no services in San Simeon. Yeah, the San Simeon anchorage is small, but it is protected. And I think it's going to be a nice respite after our first overnight. So we're going to leave San Simeon at 6 in the morning and do a 48 nautical mile leg to San Luis Obispo.
Heretofore called Obispo.
This will be a day trip, right? Leave 6 in the morning, and it's also well protected from these northwest winds. The next leg is going to be from Obispo to the Coho anchorage at Point Conception. All the anecdotal reports show good holding there, although when you take a look at it on the map, it looks pretty exposed, but it's not exposed to the predominant northwest wind and northwest swell. As long as the weather stays with what we're expecting, I think it's going to be a fine overnight. It's a total of 58 miles, so we're going to have to leave pretty early in the morning to get to the Coho anchorage during daylight hours, which we'll need to do. So the leg from the Coho anchorage to Santa Barbara, that's also going to be a day trip, but it's not going to be like the last one, right? The last one we were pushing sunset, we had to leave early. This one's going to be comfortable. Yeah, it's going to be 40 miles to Santa Barbara, so it's going to be a comfortable 10-hour sail. So we could do 7 to 5. Hopefully they'll have a slip for us. That would be fantastic. Get off the boat, have a nice dinner. Well, so that's the idea. That's the plan anyway. So we'll leave Santa Barbara at 10 a.m. We'll sail overnight, and we will get to Los Angeles Anchorage at a little bit afternoonish, 1400. In Los Angeles, that's another one. We're going to contact the harbor. If they have a slip for us, then we'll be able to get off in Los Angeles. If not, we'll anchor. From there, it wraps up with 2 day trips, a 50-miler to Oceanside and another day trip from Oceanside to San Diego. We could combine those. Well, we'll just have to play that one by year. Yeah! This trip plan, as presented in this video, is 13 days long. Now, there's a lot that's baked into that, and I want to kind of go over it. It would surprise me if it took 13 days to get there and we followed this plan exactly. There's a lot of trip planning estimates, that drive the trip plan. So wherever we end up staying a night due to weather, okay, now it was 13, now the baseline's 14. So it just adds a day like that. I estimated a 4-knot speed of advance, and I think that SOA is likely low. I think likely with following seas and with the wind behind us, it's quite likely I may reach hull speed, which is like 6 knots with the island pack at 27. So if I'm making 6 knots, there are some legs that can be combined. Well, that means Half Moon Bay to Santa Cruz. That's probably not going to happen. We'll sail right past Santa Cruz and go straight to Monterey. Now that 13 becomes a 12. Or let's say we stopped it for weather at Horseshoe Cove and we pushed that 13 to 14, but then we got better speed. By day 2, we're back to a 13-day estimate. And the other one is Los Angeles to Oceanside to San Diego. We're making 6 knots. There's no reason we're going to do that. We're going to go straight to San Diego. I think the trip could be as short as 11 days. If we get good speed and we go Half Moon Bay directly to Monterey and Los Angeles directly to San Diego, we can cut 2 days off. At the shortest, I think it's an 11-day trip. That's with good weather, no mechanical problems, and great speed. We'll see. Well, thanks for watching this episode of Marina Queen. If you liked this video, press that thumbs up button. And if you want to see more, subscribe. It feels good. Yeah. I'll see you next week on the boat. New episode every Sunday. I'm not as think as you confused I am.